The founder of A.L. Williams originally. That was the original company when they left ITT, the original 85, right? So a little bit of Primerica history for you guys, because there's a lot of new people. So a little bit of Primerica history. The original 85 left a company that was called ITT. When Art left the company, he basically like they had a plan and it was kind of a hope, but they didn't really know if it was going to work, right? But they believed. They believed because there weren't enough companies back then that were focused on buy term and invest. It wasn't really a thing. Life insurance, the whole real life insurance industry back then, we're talking like late 60s, 70s. A.L. Williams became a company in 1977. Whole life, right? Whole life back then was really kind of the only game in town. Term policies were relatively short. They didn't have long level term. I mean, 10, maybe 15 years, some 20s, right? Not like today, not like 35s. Um, and nobody really talked about that. But the reason that Art like truly and fully believed in buy term and invest, guys, was because his dad died, left his mom relatively broke as a widow, and it was actually a family member that, at the funeral kind of came up to him and said, Dad, man, it's a tragedy. Had your dad died with just a term policy, your mom probably would be sitting on about 100 grand right now. And oh, by the way, he would have been investing in some mutual funds. She'd probably have like another, 100 grand or something, just timeline wise. In reality, I mean, she had very, very little when his dad passed away. And I mean, you can find it in a lot of videos. Like he says, I never forgave them for that, right? Art never forgave the life insurance industry for what they did to my mama. I never forgave him for that. And so the company was really built out of a crusade to eradicate the whole life industry, eradicate cash value life insurance, something where you buy a product and you pay for two things, but you only ever get one, right? You pay for life insurance and some sort of cash value accumulation, but if you die, you pick one, right? And so you pay for two things the entire time, but you only get one. And so that's really where the company came from, guys. And those original 85 in the short span of 13 years turned into almost 260,000 licensed agents. That's the power of growth via multiples, right? That's the power of how quickly something can change, right? I mean, think about it. There's 26 of us on the call right now. So if you just like back that math down instead of 90, make it 30, in 13 years, we'd be sitting on about 85,000 agents. Think about that. That's the same sort of like equivalent growth, right? It's kind of wild to think about. So that's why. So if you ever see like if I ever play like an Art Williams clip or something, that's why, right? It's because that's our history. That's your lineage, and that's really the reason that we exist today was because he never forgave him for what they did to his mom, right? And that's why we're such like we're so passionate about buy term and invest because if a client's going to spend the same money, right? If a client's going to spend $500 a month on a $500,000 whole life policy, and I can give them a $500,000 in life insurance for 30 or even 35 years for like $100, $120, well, that's another $380 to $400 that we can invest for another 30 years. The math crushes it, right? I'm on it right now, so let me just do it really fast for you, just so we can kind of see like why this math always wins, right? And if you ever wonder like, well, why do we do it this way? Well, because the math says so. Like there's not really a lot of scenarios that you can create where buy term and invest doesn't destroy a cash value policy because you're going to have it ideally, right? If you're going to have it for so long. So like, for example, I meet a guy who's 35, right? We give him a 35-year term, take him to not 670. It's not Methuselah. Take him to 70. So the 500,000 in the whole life, we would agree is about $500 a month. I'll even be really generous and say his term with waiver of premium would be 140 because it could be. I don't know. I can pull up a real quote, but I'll be very conservative. right? So that's his life insurance. So the other, like the difference, buy term and invest, the difference would be the other side of that 500 would be 360, right? At about a 9% rate of return, which is fairly conservative. Guys, that's $1 million. That's $1 million at 70 in 35 years. Think about in a cash value policy, how much actual cash can ever be in a cash value policy? The face value, right? It's whatever the face value of the policy is. So if he wanted a $500,000 in a whole life policy, right? By the time he was 70, you're probably sitting on over after 35 years, maybe 200 grand in cash, maybe. Guys, you could have a Roth IRA. This is tax-free money. You know what? And you don't have to borrow it to get it. Because if he wants to access that whole life policy, he has to borrow against the policy, which means he's paying interest on his own money versus a Roth IRA. If he wants some of the money, he just takes it. Okay. And now here's where it gets crazy because put in the Zoom chat, especially some of our newer people, if you know, especially, when does the face value of a whole life policy, right? When does that $500,000 in a death benefit, at what age will the client be when the cash value equals the death benefit? Yeah. In most policies, guys, the client's 100. I've seen some where it's not until 120, which is that should be criminal. Like legitimately, that should be criminal. But yeah, but for most people, it's 100 years old. So watch this math. You would agree that if he really wanted 500 grand in cash, he can't touch the money, right? In a cash value policy. So guess what? We're going to put 1,060,000, we're going to put every penny, $67 and 344. That's what's in the account, and we're going to stop putting money in monthly. Because in most whole life policies, you hit a certain age where you stop paying, you have the life insurance, right? And it just keeps accumulating. It keeps going. So we will now say that the client is 70, he's going to go to 100 because that's when the values would be equal. And we're going to switch the investment to something very conservative. We're going to anticipate getting 4% annually. Guys, that's like there are fixed annuities that give more than that. Do you think a client would rather have a 500,000 when they're 100 years old or 3.5 million? It's a no-brainer. The math never loses, guys. And this is why when people say, well, I mean, you could probably help more clients if you guys sold whole life. There are some clients that want it. I said, great, right? They're not my clients because I don't believe in it. I wouldn't sell it to them if they wanted it. Because even if they wanted it, I could find another investment vehicle that would serve them better. Right? So just some like a little bit of Primerica lore, a little bit of buy term and invest and why it's such a big deal for us, right? Oh, we're at 27. Guys, I would really love to hit 30 tonight. I don't know who's not here yet that needs to be, but I would really love to hit 30. And then next week I would really love to hit 40. So we're going to talk about like some incremental goals this month. But really like the main goal to talk about tonight is the new incentives. So for the new people, every month, right? On the first day of a new production month, which is today for April, the company does what's called an RVP locker room, where Glenn Williams, our CEO, will talk to all of the RVPs and above. They roll out the new announcements, and so this is Find Your Money April. So there's like a promo thing going on right now with Find Your Money. There's different questions, and we'll talk about some of that tonight. But the biggest announcement, the bombshell announcement, is that this month the IBA fees are reduced. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, that means cheaper, right? And so why can I not see this? This is driving me nuts. Hang on, guys. Hang on. There we go. Eventually it will go into presentation mode. All right. So find your money April bombshell. So $74 IBA. What it really like, when I say I put the whole cost in there, right? And so the true cost is $49 because the did it not change? Whatever, $49, right? So why is it 49? Because normally it's 99 and a $25 monthly, right? Even if you come in as a life licensed agent and I waive your 99 because you don't need a background check and your licensing is complete, you're still going to pay the 25. That's your POL activation fee. That's your monthly technology fee, your back office support, everything, your website, app, all of it, right? So 49 instead of 99. So it's $50 off. It's like half price, right? So total though, it would be 74 bucks. Okay. Last month, we had the extra 100 for the bonus, but IBAs were full price. This month, I told you there's no way they were keeping the bonus at 300 instead of 200, right? So that is gone. But now we have bombshell IBA. I'm gonna help you understand like how Primerica thinks, right? So when we reduce an IBA like this cost, we're like intentionally looking to drive up recruiting numbers. We're trying to bring in the potential for more future agents, right? If we it makes it more accessible. So this month, on top of the bombshell IBA, our big goal, guys, is to hit at least 50 recruits as a team. Okay. Hierarchy wide, we're looking to hit 500. So that's us, Powerhouse, Redemption, uh, Limitless, and then the OG base, like Andy and Brittany, like the Redline actual base. Who am I forgetting? Is that it? I don't know. There might be another one out there hanging around, flying around. But anyway, as an entire team, we're looking to do 500. We are looking to do 50. Last month, way behind, right? The month prior to that and the month prior to that, we were in the mid 30s, mid high 30s. So like, we're like right there on the edge, right? With it being basically half price now, there should be no reason. How many people did you guys talk to over the last 60 days that said, "Oh, that sounds great, but I can't afford that"? A lot, hopefully, right? Guys, this is interactive. Like if I ask a question, I really would look at I would love some feedback in the chat. It's kind of like how I get my energy from you. Right. But a lot. How do you think those people would feel if you called them back, Nicole, like or you shot them a text or whatever, if you called them back and said, "Hey, listen, I know last month we talked about it and it was a little too expensive for you. Would you be open to sitting back down if I told you it was like half price this month? If I could get you licensed for half the cost, would it make more sense? When can you give me 20 minutes? If you already sat down once, guys, you legit only need like 20 minutes to knock out an IBA and get them registered and get their orientation scheduled, right? Exactly. There you go. You're reaching out to all of them today. Perfect. Right. So guys, that's a huge thing. You got to start thinking like a business owner because you are. We are all business owners. I don't care what your contract level says, right? If you're a rep, senior rep, division, regional vice president, CEO, you're the CEO of your own company. And that's how you have to start thinking. All right. So here's some cool stuff, right? Personally, do one by one this month. If you're not licensed, your field training observations count, right? That field training bonus premium, that still counts, right? So you get a direct recruit and then 1,000 in premium. Or if you're securities licensed, a one recruit and 10,000 in securities volume would do the same thing, right? You're going to get $200 in Broadmoor books and an extra 100,000 in builders production points. That's pretty legit. That's almost like an extra reset, guys. It's almost like an extra reset. So like if you're on the bubble or you're kind of close on earning the trip, well, go do one by one. If you end up making it to the trip, you're going to get a free 200 bucks to spend at the hotel and an extra 100,000 points that's going to help you lock into that. Okay. The other reason that you want to like leverage the heck out of this is that next month in May is the last month of production credit for the Broadmoor trip in August. What always happens in that last month of a trip is that they're going to announce the next trip. Listen, I don't know for a fact what it's going to be, but the next trip is going to be next February. It will be the last trip before convention. So the next trip is going to be in February of 2027. That's going to be the last trip because July of 2027, we will all be in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium up in Atlanta for our 50-year anniversary convention. It is going to be insane. It's going to be massive. All right. So this is going to be the last trip. So this is going to be a fight your butt off kind of competition for this trip. If I had to put a paycheck on it, it's Hawaii. Who wants to go to Hawaii for free? You and somebody else. Hotel, airfare covered. Yeah. I went 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. When awesome. Free. I like free. Free 99. That's right up my alley, right? So look, and there's sprint slots still for the Broadmoor, right? Extra slots, guys. 20 in the future RVP category. Don't worry about Canada, right? 10 future regional leaders, right? So Matt, that's you. This is the big one, guys. The newly life licensed. This category is the one where we have usually like the highest potential of uh people winning because there's like it's like the lowest level of competition. So if you come in and you kind of crush that category, you have a great chance, right? And next month in May, the final month of May points for the Broadmoor will be like the head start points for whatever the next trip is that they announce. So you get to double dip the points, right? You don't have to like choose one. You get to double dip. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Home and auto. So we lost the extra field training bonus money, but there's a fun little surprise that came out of this as well, right? So average clients are saving somewhere around $700 a year on auto insurance, right? But check this out. It's back. If you refer, right, you get paid. So if you refer somebody for a home and auto policy and they switch, that's two. You're going to get paid for the 100 on the auto and 95 for the home, depending on your state. On the third one, you refer somebody else, Jen, and they switch, let's just say they switch just their car insurance. You're going to make your 100 bucks for the car switch, plus you start getting a $75 bonus for every single product after that. They switch their car insurance, $75 bonus. They switch their home insurance at the same time, $75 bonus. They run a business and they switch their freaking general liability and workman's comp insurance, $75 bonus, $75 bonus. Guys, after the third one, like after the second one, on the third one, just for every single car insurance referral, you're going to be making $175 to give someone a phone number and a discount code and say, hey, if I could save you some money on something you're already spending money on, wouldn't you want to know? Yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Now, listen, it doesn't work in every scenario. We don't always save people money in every scenario, but for people that live in states where you could get paid on both, you should be like fighting like heck to make this happen, especially if you've had people have success in the past. Matt, Angel, right? The Wallers, you guys have had success with people in the past. Go back to that. Use that. Hey, listen, you definitely want to call. I had Bob call. Bob saved like $100 a month. Hey, listen, you need to call. I had my sister call. She saved $300 and something a month. What's the worst thing that happens? They tell you that what you got's really good. Hey, at least you know. When was the last time you called and quoted your car insurance? Never. Most people don't. Most people don't quote their car insurance anymore, guys, because it's a hassle. They got to do some research, then they got to call a bunch of people, then they get a bunch of spam calls in reverse. And that's what they don't want. Give them the phone number to answer financial, give them your rep ID. Let it rip. See what happens. Right? See what happens. If you're brand new, guys, you're brand new. So like Kurt, Tracy, a couple of you other guys, right? And you've never done a referral for Legal Shield before. If you do three Legal Shield referrals in the month of April, right? You're gonna make $100 bonus. You're gonna get paid for each of the referrals, and on the third one, you make an extra 100 bucks. Guys, that extra 100 buck bonus is probably just a little bit less than you would have made on your three commissions for the three referrals. I think the referral for a brand new rep is like 45 bucks. But your own stuff counts. Look, if you need a will and you need to get some stuff done, well, get a will, get your legal shield done, get your ID theft done. It's like 11 bucks. Who cares? And then go find one more person to get legal shield done. You're going to make an extra $100 bonus. You're going to get paid off of your own stuff. Guys, you paid for your own legal shield and identity theft in that situation for like the first like 4 months, 5 months off of the commission and the bonus. It's free. If you get all of your wills and powers of attorney and all of your legal documents done that you possibly want, and it was going to essentially be paid for, why wouldn't you? Real life story, guys. I'm a consumer of our own products. We have Legal Shield, we have the identity theft stuff. My son turned 18 in December. In January, I got a hold of our local Legal Shield team, right? I went online, I filled out new wills, three of them, me, Melissa, and Evan, three new powers of attorney. Guys, that's six separate legal documents. Do you know how much I had to pay Legal Shield to do that? Zero. Free 99. Imagine it had I not had Legal Shield and I wanted to get all six of those legal documents done. How much do you think that would have cost me? Has anybody done like a will or like gone to a lawyer for anything and just paid straight up out of pocket lately? Way over 500, Matt. I would argue that it probably would have been closer to 250 a document, probably minimum, right? So that would have probably cost me 1,500 bucks easy, right? And instead, I paid 39.99 for my legal shield, right? So those six documents would have cost me probably 3 years worth of legal shield, right? Then I had them send a letter to StubHub because they've owed us a refund for like 6 months, and StubHub has exactly 14 more days to send us the refund or by the letter of the law that they sent, we can open litigation and sue them. That came from the lawyer's office, right? They're probably going to drag it out and pay us on like the 30th day because that's what corporations do, right? Interest and all that. But who cares? It's coming. I promise you. They're going to move. When it comes from a lawyer's office, they're going to move. All right. If you're brand new, like brand new rep within the last 30 days, right? You can make an extra $200 bonus if someone does a Vivint install, right? Go watch the new rep incentive video. Somebody does a Vivint install. You make 250 on the install. You make a $200 bonus and whatever extra incentive is going on right now. Does anybody know what the current incentive is right now? Is it an extra 250 or an iPad? It's one of the two because that's all it ever is, right? So there's potential. If it's the extra 250 when somebody does the install that you could refer somebody for one Vivint install and make 700 bucks. That's crazy. Right? That's nuts, guys. That's nuts. This I left in because I want you guys to see how cool of a company Primerica is. I've never seen this before, and I've been doing this for 4 years almost, right? I've never seen this before. You get promoted to RVP. Did you guys know if you get promoted to RVP with growth from your RVP's base shop, right? With growth, you get 20 grand in company stock, and so does your regional vice president. Do you guys believe me when I tell you that we are incentivized to promote you to regional vice president? We're not, listen, I ain't trying to hold none of you back. I'd promote all of you to regional vice president today if I could, right? Because how many of y'all are on the call? 27? That means 26 times 20,000 I would get in company stock like that. I'd promote you all the day if I could, right? Guys, it used to be 15. It's going to be 20 for the rest of the year as of right now. Look, you want like that is a nice incentive. Like, I don't know a lot of other places where you get a promotion and you get like an instant stock for you and for the person that trained you. I've never seen it, right? I've never seen it, and I've never seen it be bigger than it is right now. Okay. This is cool, right? We say it all the time, right? We're in the top like one, two, three of life insurance producers in the country. Well, guess what? This is legit, right? This is all life. This is whole life, term, cash value, IUL, all of it, right? All of it. We're number four, and we only sell term insurance. Not bad. Not bad. This is the one that kind of chaps my butt a little bit. We're number three in term. We're behind State Farm by about what, 5 billion? We can fix that. We can fix that, right? Just last month alone, we put almost $10 billion in new life insurance in force. The company's goal is to get close to like to a full $1 trillion of life insurance in force. We're almost there. We're almost there, right? We got a little ways to go. But that's still pretty dang good considering that we're the only company, right, that does term only. Now this is a pure term comparison, right? But guys, we're up there. So if you've ever wondered like is that real? Like when we say that, like yeah, it's real. We put a lot of life insurance in force, guys, but we need to do more. All right, we need to do more. So there's for those of you that have ever like thought about it before, right? We do mortgages. In order to get your mortgage license, you have to first be life licensed, and then we need to have a conversation. If you want to pursue mortgage licensing and become an MLO, right, mortgage loan originator, if you want to do that, you can. You used to have to be securities licensed first. There are some restrictions based on what state you're in and those sorts of things. We're not in every state yet. But if you wanted to go that way, you absolutely can. I really have no desire to get a mortgage license personally, right? If somebody else wanted to get a mortgage license, well, there's not a single person in our base shop, in our brokerage that has a mortgage license right now. So if we did have someone, who would get all of the potential mortgage business? The person with a license, right? And it's just like securities or life insurance. Once you have a resident license, you'd have to get non-resident licenses as well. Jen, go on POL and go to products and then go over to mortgage. And then there's a whole map. We'll look at that. But guys, mortgages, it provides a lot because if you think about like either a cash out refi or any sort of equity pull, consolidating debt, that sort of thing, you can do a lot, right? Awesome, Caitlin. Yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about that. So here's just a quick example of how like if you were mortgage licensed, you could help someone, right? You can lower their overall total monthly payment. So this is a way to sort of attack debt consolidation for somebody without taking them through the debt consolidation process and hurting their credit and that sort of thing. You're just accessing equity that's in their home. If they have a great rate on their home mortgage already because they've had it for a while, this is where you might, mess around with like a second mortgage or even just pull some of that equity, not refinancing the entire mortgage. Okay. So look, you're freeing up about an extra $1,000 a month in this situation. They're going to invest some and then add the other half onto that debt stack, onto that debt snowball. And you're just improving the entire situation. Okay. So it's just another tool in your tool bag or another tool in your kit bag, however you want to look at it in terms of having a mortgage license, right? If somebody doesn't do it by the end of the year, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. So, um, this is like the whole like rent versus buy argument, right? Like if you were continuously paying, $1,500 monthly in rent, that renter over the 30-year course of a mortgage would pay almost 800 grand, right? With no equity. With no equity. These were my parents, right? My parents never owned a home. They never did. They rented their entire lives, right? Over here, if you're making a mortgage payment over the course of that 30 years, right? You started off, you were making those same payments, but over the course of those 30 years, you probably grew almost 1 million in equity into that home. That's assuming roughly 2.5 to 3% growth annual on a home. That's average, right? So like that's sort of the way, right? And especially when the monthly payments are the same, a lot of times, guys, well, before rates kind of got a little crazy, mortgages in a lot of cases are cheaper than rent payments. It's easier to be an owner if you can qualify. Okay. So where's the money? These are just some basic like conversations, like because a lot of people, right, when it comes to like the lack of activity, a lot of the things that we hear is like, oh, I never knew what to say. I got in front of him and I froze up, right? Well, here's a simple way to kind of just think about things like, where's the money? Right? Where's the money? You don't have to go like full Jerry Maguire, like show me the money. Just where's the money? Where's the money? Could you guys ask somebody this question? Hey, I mean, listen, I'm asking everybody this question that I meet lately. Can I ask you a question? They're gonna probably yes. Sure, whatever. Like, what do you mean? Now, you're not just gonna like walk up to somebody and ambush them with this, right? This is like in the midst of a conversation, right? Matt, you're getting your hair cut. Getting right. You're talking to your I had to. I had to. I mean, maybe Matt goes to the beard barber, right? He gets that beard trim. You never know, right? But hey, I mean, you're having a conversation before you leave the barber, right? The nail salon, whatever. Hey, could I ask you a question? I'm asking everybody this. Yeah. Where's the money? And it's gonna be weird a little bit, right? Like, what money? What are you talking about? Right? And they're like, yeah, let me know when you find it. I don't know. It's an icebreaker conversation, guys. Right? Hey, listen, everybody I talk to has money like falling through the cracks in their monthly budget. If I could help you find some of that money, would that be helpful? You've probably got somebody's attention, right? So Glenn asked us, this was back in February when the whole like where's the money campaign thing kind of started. He said, could you ask 5 people a day that question? Could you ask 5 people a day, where's the money? Well, now he says, look, we need to double it. We want to make it 10. Could you ask 10 people a day, where's the money? Right? Me personally, I don't leave the house that much. So like bumping into somebody to ask that question, probably not. But if I don't leave the house, but I still talk to a lot of people, how could I do that? On an interview with a client on a KT, right? It doesn't have to be in person. You can start working that where's the money concept into any conversation that you're having, guys, right? Because it's going to open the door to a lot of different things. Yeah, do it, Nicole, right? Make a hat, make a t-shirt, who knows, right? Just the idea though, guys, is to explode the activity. Like you never want to be in a position where you have no activity, where you have nothing going on, because that's when you start to get into that like number one deadly sin of Primerica is lack of activity. Because when there's no activity, you start to doubt not only the business, the system, but you start to doubt yourself. Because that doubt creeps in, right? Those quiet, lonely nights when you don't have appointments to sit on, you start looking around and listening to the crickets and you go, I don't know. Right. We don't want that. So you want activity, guys. The goal of this business, and I know it kind of sounds crazy, the goal of this business is to be so busy that you can't keep up with it. Because at that point, you have to delegate and you have to develop somebody else and you have to give some of that activity away for them to go try. Right? Because at some point, Nicole, you're going to be so busy, you're going to be triple booked in an appointment and you're going to go, oh my God, I wish one of these idiots would just cancel. Because then I can give one away and right. And it's okay. It'll take care of itself, right? One of them probably will cancel or they'll just no show and they didn't confirm, right? Don't worry about that one. Worry about that one that confirms. And then it was your appointment, so you get to keep the best and you get to shop out the rest and see who else is available. Because you can't run 2 appointments at once anyway. Listen, I'm good. I'm pretty good. And I can't run 2 point appointments at the same time. I can't do it. Right. So if I have 2 people confirm in the same time slot, I gotta give one away. Right? I got to give one away. But it opens the door for everything. Okay. Here's convention, guys. 462 days away, just a little over a year. Right? Just a little over a year away. Who's been, or I guess who's never been to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, either for a football game or for anything, right? Who's never been there? Awesome. Look, this is your shot, guys. Right? I promise you there is nothing like a Primerica convention. And I've only been to one because I've only been in the business because the cycle is usually every 2 years. This time it will have been 3 years since we had one because we did one on year 47. We weren't going to do one at 49 and then do another one year later for 50. So we skipped a year, right? And this one is going to be big. On average, they spend about 8 to 10 million on a convention, right? I want to say the last time we were at home office and we were sitting down with Glenn and Bobby and everybody, um, I want to say they were talking like close to 20 million on this one. It's gonna be double. They basically took what it would have cost to do one and then another one and just combined it into that one for the 3 years, right? So that's it on this slideshow for tonight. Before I transition, any questions? Any questions? Miss Mary, how long have you lived in Georgia and you've never been to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium? That seems crazy to me. That seems absolutely crazy. So I'm gonna show you something really quick, guys. I'm gonna just pull up POL. Just if you ever have questions about like products or where are things, like how do I get to that, right? Especially if you're new, right? Especially if you're new. Walk through a couple of things. Don't like crowds. I don't blame you there. I don't blame you there. So I'm going to do it from the app version because a lot of you, especially if you're new, a lot of you are going to be doing stuff on your phone. You can do anything that you can do on your phone, you can do on the computer. There are things only on the computer that, right, that you could do there versus on your phone. But you could also just go to primericaonline.com as like a website, as a browser, and then anything you on your computer, you can do on your phone, right? I just flip my phone sideways and kind of zoom in, and I can do a bunch of stuff right there on my phone. So for the noobs, right, for the new people, if you're not appointed yet, when you click the three lines up here, right, and you scroll down, you're going to see some different things, right? For people that are licensed, your Turbo Apps is up here. If you're not licensed yet, you have to click Tools, and your Turbo Apps is inside of that. Okay. So I'm going to come back up here to Turbo Apps because you don't need a license, guys, to take an IBA. You can recruit somebody right now without a license. You don't need a license to do an auto and home referral, legal shield, or identity theft protection. You can do all of those things right now with no license. Okay. No license and not appointed. Okay. So PLPP, right? Legal protection. This is PLPP. So if you were coming in here, you would click this and it would look the exact same on your phone and then hit I agree. Okay. Scrolling. Here we go. So this, I'm logged in right now. Like I can't do a PLPP and do it for somebody else because I'd have to be logged into your POL. Okay. So I can only do this, and I would be the one getting the referral credit. I would be the one getting the bonus and that sort of thing. So if you're going to get the credit for everything, guys, you need to refer yourself or you need to be the one submitting it for somebody. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay. Pick the state that they're in. There are restrictions, right? A South Carolina person or client, a Virginia client, a New Jersey. But the big ones for us are South Carolina and Virginia. You have to have a license and you have to have a special like attachment to your license in order to be able to do Legal Shield. So if you're outside of those states, let it rock. If you're in those states or you have a client that's in one of those states, talk to Haley or Jessica Mead. They have the Legal Shield like rider on top of that. Heck yeah, Nicole, you can do all that stuff yourself. Before you go off ripping into the wind, though, like let's talk about like making sure that you have everything set up and you have all of the right documents and you have the script and all that stuff. But yes, you can do it. Like if you're just filling out an IBA, like if you were going to recruit Joel and just bring him on and bump your bonus right now, you can do that IBA yourself. Super, right? Super easy. So when continue, right? So we're going through getting someone signed up. You just pick which one you want. Okay. Preferred is like the is probably the best option because it gives you the most flexibility and it's just like that medium, right? Kind of like how most people like their steak, medium. Right? You're able to do the most things. It doesn't like exclude anybody. It covers you, your spouse, and dependents. The only big thing on this one versus having the platinum version is that on the platinum version, if somebody wants to actually do like a trust, that one only the trust option only costs them an extra $250 per person to establish. That's cheap as hell. If you were going somewhere and setting up a trust like from scratch, you could probably plan on paying anywhere from 3 to 5 grand to set up a trust. Okay. Um, yeah, Jen, for the Vivint, they do. And I'll show you where that's at. I'll show you where that's at. And so, but yeah, guys, so if you were gonna say you were gonna do this, right? Like Matt's my client, I'm gonna sign Matt up for Legal Shield, right? He's in Florida or he's at least coming back. The monthly total is 39. There is a $10 setup fee, but that's just for the first one, and that's it. You never see it again. And then you just go to checkout and you fill out their information and then go, right? There's a client app that they can download, and then there's also a website, right? It's literally simple. Anybody can do this. It would probably take you 10 minutes to do a legal shield. It is that simple. Okay. Jen, to your question about the Vivint stuff, like say you were going to put Vivint on the house, right? And you used Scarlett's info and she was the referral and she made 700 bucks, right? Because of the bonus and all that. Uh, here's where it's at, right? So go to products and then scroll down to Vivint. And then down here, this one always takes me a second. So just training videos. Nope, not that one. Mm. This is the one that always gets me because this is new. This didn't used to be like this. Hang on. Oh, there it is. There it is. They redid this. It used to have like the Vivint thing on the side and all that. It's different now. Like they must have changed this like within the last week. So here's how this goes, right? They click this, they watch the video. It's like a 10-minute video or something like that. And then you have to complete the Vivint referral within 30 days of signing the IBA, and then the actual install has to happen within the next 2 weeks after that. Okay, within the first 45 days. Questions on that? And there is no like referral like widget for Vivint. You just call, right? You just call, make sure that when your client calls, they have your rep ID, your discount code, your whatever, because more than likely there's going to be some sort of Vivint offer that's going on at that time too, and they're going to get something extra out of it. Okay. So that's the big stuff for tonight. Anything else? Any questions on anything that I went over? Anything that needs some extra clarity on? If not, I'm gonna finish with some like goal discussion. Okay. No? Yes? Purple? Okay. So how many people are on right now? 24. There's 24 people on right now. I'm gonna do like a quick math sort of breakdown for you to show you the power of the multiples. Okay. So when we talk about three who get three, that's how 85 people, guys, became a 250,000 licenses in the course of 13 years. Okay. So watch the multiple. We grow by multiplication, not by addition. Okay. So let me pull up a whiteboard and we're gonna draw here really quick. All right. So don't make fun of the drawing. It's gonna be some scribbles, right? So out of the 24 people that are here right now, right? Imagine that we all got one recruit. Okay, so we're starting with 24, and then we're all going to just get one recruit, right? So 24 plus one for all of us, right? Stay with me. I know it's 20. I know you're going to say 25. Primerica math says it's 48. You with me, right? For everybody that's on the meeting right now, we're all going to get a recruit. So we're going to double our numbers, right? We're going to double our numbers. So, or either that or times two, if that makes you feel better, right? Times two. So we're all going to go get one recruit. So now there's 48 of us out running around. There's the 24 original and the 24 new. Once we have those 24 new people, guys, it's our job if we're trying to truly get them to like that district contract, we say sprint to district, it's our job to go get each one of them three people. That's the goal. That's the goal. So now there were 24 of us. We went and got 24 more, right? We each went and got one, just one. I'm trying to show you that it doesn't take an army. You just got to get started. You go get one, right? And then you get that one person, three people. Now watch. From all of us going and getting one person, we all got 24. And now we each start duplicating the right way, and we each get that one person three, right? We're going to turn those 24 people times three into what? 72 more. So we started with us. There's way more than us that are out there running around wild in the base shop, right? We're just the ones that are here. You're the ones that are committed. Now there's 25. Look, I started talking about the multiples and we just grew. That's what happens, right? What you focus on grows. We went from 24 to 25, just like that. So look, we went and got these guys, right? So we added, so we went from 24 to 48. Then we went to 72. Guys, literally by the end of the month, we should have about 120 people on this meeting. Th- that's in 1 month. That's in 1 month. Now, in the reality is we go get 72 new people and about 40% of them are going to quit. They're going to change their mind. Their broke Uncle Joe told them it's a scam. They're going to quit, right? People are going to people, and that's okay. But that still leaves, right? We go get these 24, half of them are going to quit. So that's going to be 12. And then we go get these, right? people, and then they're going to quit as well. So that's going to be like another 30. So in reality, we should have what, another 45, 50 people that stick around. That's okay. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Now, let me get rid of this and I'm going to bring up a calculator and I want you to stay with me as I show you the multiples as we start thinking about going just a few levels deep, just a few levels deep. Okay. So let me get rid of this mess here really fast. But just remember, 24 turns into 48 if we all just get one. And then that next 24, if we get them all three, is another 72. But watch this. Three, who get three, right? So we call that three squared. What's three squared, guys? What's three times three, right? It's nine. Now times three again, 27. Times three again, right? This is when it starts getting fun. This is when it starts getting really, really fun, right? Now we're at 81. Oh God, Matt, why would you draw such an ugly eight, bro? Like that's terrible. Let's do it again. 243, right? Times three, 243. One more time. One more time. Then that's where we'll stop it. 729. That's growing by multiplication, right? Because if you go back and instead of times three, you just do plus three. Instead of ending at 729, you go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Would you rather have 18 new reps this year or 729? Guys, we have to think about growing by multiplication, okay? Because if we're just constantly thinking about growing via addition, like adding one here or there, it's never going to happen. The reason you need to think about growing through multiplication is because you can compress time. Listen, I mean, I'm not talking like theoretical quantum physics, right? We're not talking about like getting close to a black hole or going close to the speed of light and slowing things down. I'm talking about duplicating yourself, being in more places at once, being able to get more done in the same time frame. That's how you compress time. Here's the other dirty little secret. Anyone that has 1,000 licensed agents makes no less than $1 million a year. I just ran the math for you. I just ran the math for you, right? Here's the other little secret is that average licensing ratios in Primerica, on average, about 20% of the people that actually come in will finish and get their license. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter how small or how big of an organization you run, the numbers are about 20%. Some are a little bit better, some are a little bit worse, but within one standard of deviation, it's 20%. Okay. So here's the calculator that I promised you. If if we know that you need 1,000 licensed agents to make $1 million a year, okay? If you need 1,000 licensed agents to make $1 million a year, and the licensing ratio is roughly 20%, meaning 20% of the people that came in will get that license, that means you need to roughly go through about 5,000 people. Now, that doesn't mean you personally, Nicole, have to recruit and talk to 5,000 people. That means your organization needs to go through about 5,000 people. Now, let's do the tale of two cities, right? If you need to get to 5,000 people, but you're doing it via addition and you're recruiting roughly 18 people a year, it's going to take you about 278 years to make your million a year. I'm not here for that, right? If you are hitting that 729 number and you're growing through the multiple, you're going to hit your million a year in roughly under 7 years. I just gave you the game plan. I just showed you the blueprint. Anybody know how long it took Andy and Brittany to hit the million? This is math application in real life. Faster than that. It's actually, no, they didn't make 1 million in 9 months. I'm talking from the time that they came in until they hit their million, guys. It was just under 6 years. It was just under 6 years. There's the math. Listen, the beauty of a business like this, guys, is that if you run the numbers win. But the flip side of that same coin is that you can't fight the numbers in reality. Like you can't fight the numbers. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. And that's sales in general, right? At the end of the day, it's a numbers game. But, and I'll give you an example and I'll let you go, right? Last night, Mary and I sat down with a young couple, mid 20s, right? We had the quintessential perfect Primerica appointment. Here's why. I spent probably 25 minutes giving them a very rudimentary basic education in money and finance, asking some very basic questions. We walked through a mobile F&A. I showed the young man that his current plan with his retirement that he's doing is going to get him very close to his financial independence number, right? He had no clue that he was going to be even close. He's like, yeah, I probably have to work till I die, right? At least till I'm like 70. I said, you might, but not like this. He goes, whoa, right? Fixed their life insurance, showed him that what he was doing with his 401k, because he's not getting a match at his company. It's a small company, but he's putting in 10%. He's trying to do the right thing. But I said, boss, if you're putting in 10% and you're not putting your money into a Roth IRA, you might end up with 3 million, but you and Uncle Sam have 3 million. That's a problem. You need to stop that, put all of that into your Roth IRA, and then anything above that Roth IRA that you're maxing out, we can go back and start talking about putting it back into your 401k just to give you another option. He goes, whoa, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, would you rather have 3 million tax free or 3.2 that you got to pay taxes on? He said, tax free, right? Then we fixed their life insurance because he realized that he thought he had life insurance on her, but they don't because they're not married yet, but they share kids, right? He had some on himself, but nothing on her, nothing on the kids. She's pregnant, another one coming, right? So we took care of the life insurance. His shoebox number was about an extra 400 bucks a month over what he was already investing. We got them both covered, power term approved, right? Got them both covered. It was like 140 bucks a month. Done. That leaves him another 260 on top of what he's already doing, right? They said, hey, like the debt stuff, that kind of makes sense. We probably need to do that. I said, great. Listen, we're going to get back together next week at the same time, right? Give you some time to put some numbers together. Give me everything that you've got when it comes to the minimum payments, the interest rates, the balances, and I'll build that. We'll get back together. We'll go through that. We'll get your investments situated. We'll get you a money market account set up. That way you can have some savings that's building for you. It's actually working, right? Your money, your liquid money in the money market account is going to get you about 3.25% for free. It's a free account. And you can move money in, move money out. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no fees, there's no penalties, there's nothing. It's just a service. And they're like, oh, right? Guys are like 26, and I think she was 30. No one's ever talked to them about any of this before. That's how you change someone's life in the span of an hour. In 1 hour, right? In 1 hour, because Miss Mary just had the gusto and the gumption to reach out, have a conversation with somebody, and put them on the appointment. We literally changed someone's life. Because if they just listen and follow the plan that we put in place, he's already doing most of it. We just got to do it the right way. We just turned that family's life completely around and they don't even know it yet. You're 100% right, Johnny, since they're so young, right? They're so young. We've got so much time to make a massive impact. So for some of you, especially if you're a little bit older and you're going, I don't have that kind of runway, I don't have that kind of time, I don't have the time to recover, that's okay. Because you might be thinking that way and your market is probably your similar age. Am I right, Nicole? Looking at you because you're up on my screen. That's okay. you're not shut off. You're not closed out because here's the question that I want you to take with you. Nicole, I understand like you're kind of short on time in terms of like your money growing and compounding. You probably feel like you're behind. Am I right? Totally get it. I hear it a lot. If I could put you in a time machine, like, can I ask you a question? Right? If I could put you in a time machine, it's 100% safe, right? FDA cleared, it's 100% good, it's going to work, I promise. You're going to come back, you're going to go, you're going to come back, right? If I could put you in a time machine and rewind the clock on you by, you get to choose. You want 20, 25, you want 30 years, right? You want to start over? Maybe like 25 again? If I could make you 25 today, you can't cheat, right? Like you can't go Amazon and go, but you just know what to do, right? Would you go?
Possibly.
Would you go so you could at least go back and tell yourself what to do?
Yeah.
Right? Now, listen, I'm sorry because I don't have an actual time machine, right? But can I ask you another question?
Sure.
How old are your adult kids?
Uh, 27, 25, and 22.
Awesome. There's your time machine. If we don't get in front of them and teach them everything that we know now, there's a really good chance they're going to end up exactly where you are, wishing that they could go back to where they are right now. When can we get in front of them to teach them this so that we don't make those same mistakes?
Yeah.
That's how you talk to your market. If you're an older agent and you feel like you don't have that kind of runway anymore. Guys, it doesn't do us any good. It doesn't do me any good to teach you this for us to not get in front of people. Like we all know way too much. We know way too much. Even if you've only been here for like a week, you know more than you did before you came. And if you don't, that's on me. But but for real, like you know more, you have to. It's impossible. It's impossible not to get exposed to this business and come into this business and not improve. It's impossible to be around me and not like especially if you're listening and you're paying attention, you can't be around me and not get better. You can't. It's impossible. I won't let you, right? I won't you have to. You have to improve. It's it's such a crazy business, guys. It's a self-improvement plan that comes with compensation. I am a drastically different person 3.5 years later than I was before I came into this business. And it's not all Primerica, but it's a lot. It's a lot because you get exposed to different people. You get exposed to kids that think to kids. I just read Jen's thing. You get exposed to people that think differently, right? We get away from this victim mentality of, oh, it's just the way life is. And no, I have agency. I can change things, right? We get away from the idea that this is my lot in life. Hell no, change it. You weren't born into that. This isn't India. There's no caste system here. You're not stuck. Move. You don't like your circle? Pick a new circle, right? You guys have heard that you're the sum of like your five closest friends when it comes to just everything, right? My five closest friends over the last 4 years are in a drastically different income bracket than my old five closest friends because of this business. Life changes, guys. Life moves. You're not stuck and you have agency. You can move, right? So listen, the goal this month is 50. 50 is the team recruiting goal. It's just big enough to be a little bit scary, but it's massively attainable, right? Haley told me earlier today she wants to do like 10 personal this month. Matt wants to do 15. Angela's thinking about 10 or 20. I'm gonna go get me some. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do this month? Do me a favor, go into Telegram, right? And tell everybody, please tell everybody, because there's gonna be some sort of accountability, there's gonna be some accountability with this, right? How many recruits are you gonna get this month? And if you're asking and you're wondering why I'm so focused on recruiting, guys, it's because recruiting is the cause of and solution to all of your problems in this business. You want to get in front of people and like get people like some PLPP, go recruit a bunch of people, right? You want to do more investments, Matt, once you're licensed, go recruit some more people because that's your distribution, guys. That's your distribution. It puts you into new markets, right? And unless you feel like cold calling people and working for a snake farm, get hungry and get happy recruiting because that's it. And they need you. Think about, because here's the other thing, right? And then, because like the last piece of like the full, beautiful Primerica appointment is recruiting across the kitchen table. And I didn't even tell Mary to do this. She just did it on her own. She said, "Hey, from last night, she's interested in the business." And I said, "Well, that's just Jesus because today it's cheaper and you can save her 50 bucks." Right? Listen, go do it, guys. Do me a favor. I'm going to end this because we're a couple minutes over, and I like to be respectful of your time. Go in Telegram, like be for real, right? And if it's just one, say one. I don't care. I just want to know what it is because I'm going to go write these down, and there's going to be accountability this month personally between me and you. If you go put it in Telegram, tell me right now where you're going to have some accountability with me, and we're going to figure out how to do that. All right. I love you guys. I'll get the recording out tomorrow. I'm gonna go hang out with Emmy for tonight. I'll talk to you soon. I'm around tomorrow if you need me. All right. Bye, guys.